Hi, today we're at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. I'm Jeff Steele, City Council member of Wilmer, Texas. Won't you come in with us and let's take a tour?
An American artist, Thomas Crawford, who shipped it all the way from Rome to D.C. And a fun fact about it is that when it originally came, there were some issues on how to make the statue out of bronze. So it was an enslaved man by the name of Philip Reed, who figured out how to take the model apart
For the casting
process. And by the time the statue was completed and placed at the top, Philip Reed was a freed man.
My gosh, there is a future. The young folks that took us through on our tour, your expertise in the history, very informative. So it gives me pleasure to know the young people have it under control.
Besides the shield, she is also holding a sheathed sword.
That's the sword of truth.
The sword of truth, and an eagle-plumed crest.
I was walking around the Capitol tour and I could only think about the generations and the generational value that this building has.
And what this point is, the designer of the city back in the 1800s, he based this point off of what the whole city is based upon. So if you look at a map and you see where the city, all the city is based on this one point right here.
It's a wagon and spoke, so that must be the center of the city.
That's the center of the city, yes sir.
So this is not only a great place for history, but it's also a great place for American history.
So each state gets to donate 2 statues to someone who is important to their state history. And there's a few guidelines to all these states have to follow. The statue they donate to the Capitol has to be made either out of bronze or marble.
Everlasting?
Of course. And it has to stay here for 10 years before they can switch it up, because states are also allowed to change it up. They can take the statue back, put it in their capital, and send a new one.
Man, you'd hate to be dogged by your own state and bring it back from the Capitol, wouldn't you?
No, but there's some pretty cool statues.
Yes, they are. Just amazing the craftsmanship that went into this thing.
It never really gets old.
Each day's a new day. The rotunda, to me, it kind of defines infinity. It's a circle, and as you look up into the space, there's clouds, and there's even George Washington there, and to the right of him is sitting Lady Liberty, and on the left of him is Lady Freedom. And so that was really impressive.
No, yeah, this room is pretty awesome.
Is that a flat three-dimensional? Is that carving or is that painting?
It's painting, sir, actually.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, the shading really good. Makes it look like they stand out. Yeah.
There is.
Yeah. And I'm from Texas. I'm not easily fooled.
There's like a storyline, story of America, sir, and it covers 200 years from when America was first discovered, all the way to the history of flight.
You can spend all day in here and listening to your stories. In the rotunda, the statue of Ronald Reagan was there. Within the statue, there was rock from the Berlin Wall, from the famous saying when he said, "Mr. Gorbachev, take down this wall." And so they had built part of the Berlin Wall in the pedestal of his statue. So that was pretty interesting. Appreciate your time.
Not a problem.
You kind of give me a little bit of a refreshing breath on young folks these days. That's what we need for our leaders. The old Senate chamber is something that was really touching and very emotional for us.
It was designed by William Henry Latrobe. He designed this room from Parisian rooms that he had seen in Paris, and he deemed them as adequate for hearing, speaking.
It does have good volume, doesn't it? Can you just imagine when they heard Lincoln talk in that room? They called him the senator with the thunderous voice. Well, I could see why, because that voice is just carried in that small room. It's a magnificent room for oratory. Statuary Hall, there it is.
But
Before that, it was the House of Representatives.
you'll actually see some of the
Desk marks?
Desk
marks are right here.
Oh, I got you. That's another beautiful room.
Oh yeah, this is a really pretty room. Now, this room used to hold all the statues, so it used to be like 200.
Wow.
Wow. They used to support all of them.
Yeah, support all of them. But since it just couldn't support the weight of that many marble and bronze statues, so they actually had to move them around the Capitol.
Yeah.
So now you got them all. You got them.
Distribute the weight a little bit.
Yeah, no, you have to when you have all these statues, you know.
just wrapping up the Capitol tour here. What an experience to be here. I hope y'all had a good time.